and things like that. I'm just shocked about it.
Yeah, but it wasn't just me. He wanted it like that. So that wasn't all me. That's your son. That's not me. You could.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. I told you guys about Desiree and Rodney and talking about their relationship, meeting the crazy mom. Yo, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And those of you who are returnees, and you already know what it is, baby. Mineral, get mineral, get. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Voice a bit croaky, but don't watch that. Alright, listen, let's get into the video. So, watching obviously this episode where Rodney and Desiree link up to meet Rodney's parents. Obviously, we know they've been dating for the last 2 years. He hasn't introduced Desiree, his girlfriend, to his mother. And presumably, we did this in the last episode review because obviously the fact the mother is so hell-bent on her own opinion of what she thinks and feels. I guess he was a little bit scared to bring her in front of the mum because I actually said last episode that Desiree is a bit of her mouth can say things that ain't so holy, okay?
Because I explained to him, I'm not having sex before we get married.
Here come Desiree talking about sex, and I'm like, oh my God.
Or considered holy from the mother's perspective. So he's trying to avoid a collision, I guess, right? In this particular episode, we get to see her come over to the household, have a discussion with the mother and the father, with also Rodney. I think what's really concerning in this particular episode is the fact that Rodney hasn't told his mother, as we highlighted in the last episode when he said about the fact he had a friend, not a girlfriend, that he hasn't told his mother that they've been dating for 2 years.
Yes. You guys didn't know that?
No, this is the first we heard. 2 years?
Yeah.
Rodney should have said something.
Okay, now I don't know if he did that because he was scared that her mum would intercede and intrude. I'm not sure if he didn't say it at all because maybe he's not so serious about Desiree. But what we do know is that, listen, my brother, there's no way that look, brother, this probably not the best idea to leave 2-year relationship out of your mouth when you speak to your mother, yeah, and your father, okay. And the maddest thing about the situation is the fact that when Desiree did come, I know that obviously when they were sitting at the table as well, Rodney's mum as well, again, was stern. She was ready to have a conversation. She was kind of, at least she was being a bit open, but she was discussing a key issue, which is the fact that, listen, I want my son to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know these girls out in the streets moving a bit mad, right? And so the topic that we're going to really kind of focus on, especially in this episode, is a topic about this finances, about this rent situation. And if you guys saw another video we're going to do as well, Kevin and Katie, same thing again. It's about this rent situation. So obviously we know that obviously in the past, Desiree has dated rich men, okay? She's dated men she dated a man especially who was a multi-millionaire. And obviously I'm guessing she's used to a certain lifestyle, okay? She's been married twice. Now, already that's going to be an alarm bell setting off for any minister or mother, any woman who considers herself to be a woman of God and a minister. That's going to send alarm bells ringing because it's going to be like, wait, hold on, 2 divorces. What happened in the last 2 marriages? Like, not the last 2 relationships, last 2 committed, lifelong commitments you put into place didn't work. Now, it may not have been her fault, but the fact is you got on your record 2 divorces. And that mum is going to think to herself, rah. And she did think, rah. Because she's thinking to herself, okay, cool, so what were the reasons for these breakups? Like, why are you divorcing? Like, and obviously Desiree said about the fact that she wanted to be happy and she felt like she wasn't happy in those relationships. And again, the word happy to an old school woman like herself will not be entering her mind. She will not be satisfied. I'm not satisfied with your answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't gonna be satisfied. And the reason why is because old school mentality is different from new school. Old school says, listen, yes, be happy, but you won't always be happy, so don't rely on happiness. Like, do you know what I'm saying? To stay in a relationship, it's about commitment. And so I get that, and the new school's about, listen, look, I can't stay where I'm not happy. I can't stay where I'm not being blessed.
And about the money, because I would have been straight, I would have been set. But I have to be true to my heart and true to myself.
I know you were saying that you love Rodney's heart, but
I can't stay where I'm being hurt. I can't stay where I'm being abused, and these are real things. And no one should stay where they're being abused. Nobody should. Nobody should be in any of those kind of situations. No, sir. No. And so, what was interesting is that before they even got to this point in the conversation with Rodney's mum and Desiree, is that it was Desiree's friend that she was walking with up the hill, where they were walking up to. There was 2 jokes that were made by this girl that concerned me. Now, I've heard the conversation around the fact that is he gay or whatever. I heard people saying that, and I'm not here to even go against it, because you know why? The last 2 times I've said on my channel, I don't know if that person's gay. They've turned out to be what? Gay. You understand? So I am not going to argue now about whether you think he's gay or not. I'm just going to say I don't know, and if you don't think that he's that, I'm just gonna have to just say, okay, cool, we'll see what happens. Because I'm not gonna say I'm not defending anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so what happened earlier on between Desiree and her friend is that
she respects you and Rodney's relationship, and she doesn't try to come in and start tearing it down
or taking over.
Parents, the girl says, obviously, what you mean he's coming out of the closet? Now you know that coming out of the closet is a term that is often associated with the fact that someone is bisexual, sorry, is someone that's gay or bisexual or part of the LGBTQA community, okay? And they haven't, and when they come out, we say coming out the closet. It's a term like that. So to use that term in this particular thing was a bit odd, right? And my alarm bell's already ringing when I hear that deliberate joke that the friend dropped as well. Then the second part of the joke that she girl made.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe he's just fighting some inner demons.
It was really hard getting to this point, but we're here.
Okay.
Wow.
And the reason I was like, is because obviously, again, associated with being a gay previously would have been that someone had a demon in them, they were tormented, etc., etc., right? Inner demons. And that can also mean as well that person's fighting within themselves. They're fighting a desire within themselves, which is what we might associate with someone who's part of the LGBTQA community again. So I was wondering, okay, is this friend trying to tell us, the audience, something? Is this a planned storyline to get it to later on say down the end that he's gay or whatever? I don't know. But what I do know is that I picked up on that and I said, I don't like where that's going. I don't like what that's hit. I don't like what that's really saying. I'm not feeling it. You understand? So for me, that was a big thing. And I think also for me as well, watching it, knowing that Desiree started crying as well before she met the parents, because she felt that she's earned this. She's worked so hard to get to that stage. And I think to myself, if you have to work that hard, if you've had to fight that much to see the parents, really and truly, I mean, is this really a relationship you really want to be in? Like, is that not a telltale sign that maybe the relationship may not be great? Is that not a telltale sign the relationship might not be correct? Is that not a telltale sign that, you know what, you may not be in the right relationship? And it's interesting because later on, we go flip past it now. There's a conversation that's had on the table around finances. And finances always is a game changer and a game breaker in any relationship. So the discussion was around, obviously, the fact that I guess Desiree lives far away. And in fact, we're going to talk about long distance relationships. Desiree lives far away from, obviously, from Rodney. And that's where the conversation came out about her having actually visited Rodney. And that's when the conversation came out that, oh, you know what, we've been dating for 2 years, right? Had that question not been asked about has she been in this area where Rodney lives or whatever, that wouldn't have come out, the fact that you've been dating for 2 years. All right, so then a long distance relationship.
We can live bi-coastal. We can have a place in DC and we can have a place in LA.
But who said I want to do that? But that's not what I want to do.
But in a relationship.
And not only just that, but Rodney is paying her rent. Now, many of you ladies in the comment section, I know because we're in America show, we will talk about, yes, provider energy, blah, 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 blah. I know many of you will say that. And obviously, he's not just paying, he's paying all her bills. I mean, he's doing Beyonce. Can you pay my bills, pay my telephone bills, pay my telephone bills? I don't need you. So you and me are fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing all of that already, fam. Like, and the mum picked up on it and was not happy. Why was she not happy? She was like, wait, hold on a minute. Like, y'all ain't married. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't to get that together like that.
And I don't want to see him getting married and then getting divorced. You know, it's not right. I've known women who have dated guys who have had good hearts, but their intentions were...
You know what I'm saying? And also, remember, you've had 2 marriages. You divorced twice. Is this a third time that you're trying to get lucky and secure a man? Are you trying to secure the guy to get his coins? Is that what you're about? Right? And that's what she's thinking. That's what she's on. Now, and then the mum obviously put another point, which I think is very, very key. She asks that, like, oh, not even asks, but in the end it got, obviously asks that, hey, you know, Desiree, you haven't said no to this. You haven't said, no, let me pay my rent.
Paying my bills. What is the underlying intentions? That has to be exposed. Were you ever married before?
Yes, I was. I've been married twice.
Now, let me be very frank. If someone says they want to pay my rent, why should I complain? Why should I feel discouraged when you pay? Okay, that no, it's not going anywhere. Let's stop that. Okay, cool. So you get what I'm trying to say. Like, why would I feel discouraged if you're going to pay my rent? No, deep here. Why would I feel away if you're going to pay my rent? So I can understand why she decided that, okay, let me accept it. I can also understand why the mum is a bit concerned because, like, hold on a minute, you didn't tell them not to. That's your rent. Like, forget other bills. That's your rent, where you stay. Why are you not paying your own rent? You understand? And so, again, the mum was on edge, just kind of just deciphering whether Desiree is really about the relationship or whether she's about money, right? And then Desiree got into, I think there was a little argument between Desiree and Rodney, a small smart, about the fact that obviously she felt like Rodney didn't defend her about the finance situation. Rodney was like, listen, my friend, am I not paying your bill? Did you tell me no?
To say and what not to say. Do you still want to continue having your bills paid?
That's
Yes or no? Yes or no? Next question.
Did you tell me no? No, you didn't. So, okay, I can't defend you on that. She's like, okay, I'm not a gold digger though. And I get her point of view, which is like, no, she's not saying she's a gold digger either. But I also get the mum's point of view, which is like, but you didn't say no though. So if you're not, you know, if you don't want to pay your own way, you decided to accept the payment. You feel me? And so again, I mean, I'm not barring any of them. I'm just discussing the fact that, listen, you got to be ready in any situation to understand that, listen, certain actions breed certain consequences and they breed certain images. For instance, earlier on when they were talking, herself and Rodney, again, they were talking about obviously the fact that she was in her own room and she's not giving up sex until they're married, right? And so for me, I think that's brilliant. I think celibacy is great. Yeah, I think abstaining is absolutely beautiful. It's godly. You understand? Enjoy it. It's godly. So I get that. But again, obviously from a perspective of Rodney, like if he hasn't fully committed to this particular side of things, he's going to find it hard, which is why he was in the room talking to her about the fact that, listen, baby, are you like, yo, like, are we not going to sleep in the same room? Like, da-da-da. And she's like, listen, you already know what the deal is. Yeah? And so I mean, for their relationship, I am looking at it going, okay, I got no problems with you paying all her bills because if that's what you agreed on, that's what you agreed on. Who am I? You know? Who am I to say anything? Who am I to disagree? At the end of the day, you've decided that this is good for you, right? So I got no problem with that. I think the problem here is that the fact that Rodney hasn't discussed this with his parents. He hasn't told his parents for 2 years that, listen, he's been dating this girl. That should send alarm bells ringing. Ringing. Okay? In Desiree's mind. Any lady that got their boyfriend who doesn't want to tell their parents for the last 2 years that they've been dating somebody is a problem. It's a very big problem. You understand? And the last thing as well, apart of the fact as well, how the conversation about bills came up was this. Once they were talking about obviously where they're going to move to, and then obviously it was discussed that she didn't want to move to where he stayed, right? They wanted to find another location. And he said obviously the fact that I paid the bills, so I don't know where you think you're going. And that is the truth. That is a simple truth. A bit like the Danny and Dom situation. You don't pay no bills, you won't get a say-so. Like most people, if you don't pay the bills, you won't get a say-so, right? And because you don't pay the bill, you don't pay your way, right? It's like you don't have an equal footing in a relationship. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Like, if I'm paying all your bills, okay, your telephone bill, automobile bill, then why do you think that you're gonna get your own way? You know what I mean? Like, we can talk, but it doesn't mean you're gonna get your own way, right? You can suggest, but it doesn't mean you're gonna get your own way, right? More than likely, he's gonna make all the decisions because he holds all the power, because he is the one person who holds all the money. So yeah, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the what? Uploads, baby. And we appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. All that.